What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Sean from 4GLU, 4 Geeks Like You, and you're now tuned into my review of Here Comes the Boom. What's going on, girls and guys? This is Sean from 4GLU, 4 Geeks Like You, and like I said, I'm going to review Here Comes the Boom. Now, the film stars Kevin James as Scott Voss, Selma Hayek as Bella Flores, who's the nurse and Kevin James' love interest. Charisse, who's the actual Filipina singer, as Malia de la Cruz. Henry Winkler as Marty, and Bas Rutten as Nico. Now, the plot of the film is about Scott Voss, who's a 42-year-old biology teacher in a high school that's seen better days. Now, when cutbacks start to arise and cancel the music program and lay off Scott's friend and fellow co-worker Marty, Scott decides to raise money for the school by going back to being an instructor for a citizenship class. Now, he finds out that how much he'll actually need to raise is $48,000. And he really is, he grows a heart, because initially when the film starts, Scott is a teacher who doesn't really care about coming to school. He comes to school really late. He doesn't really teach the class anything. He goes to sleep in class and really doesn't pay attention to anything in his surroundings except for earning vacation time. Now, when this problem arises with Marty, he starts to revert back to his old ways, because we hear that Scott used to be a teacher, teacher of the year. He used to care a lot. He used to do a lot of things for the class. And you start to see that something awakens inside him. Besides Bella Flores, who is again played by Selma Hayek, he decides, hey, you know what? Maybe I could do this, and maybe a little bit I can get inside Bella Flores. But regardless, he goes back to being an instructor for a citizenship class. There he meets Nico, who is a student, and Nico approaches him and says, hey, you know what, I need a little extra, help, and you're the guy who can do it, so help me out with some private tutoring, and, let's see where things go. Now, Scott looks at it as if he can earn more money by doing this, so hey, it's no problem. So when Scott arrives at Nico's apartment, he comes into seeing that there's a MMA fight that's on television, and he also finds out that Nico used to be a mixed martial arts fighter. Now, while watching the fight, Nico tells Scott that, hey, the guy lost, but he still gets $10,000. So, a light clicks in Scott's head, and he's like, hey, I can be an MMA fighter, since doing this being an instructor for a citizenship class really isn't going to put a lot of money in my pocket as fast as I need it. So being an MMA fighter and losing a fight, which I'm sure I will give me $10,000, then I'm going to go that route. And that's what he does. He asks Nico to train him, and that's basically where the film starts picking up. Now, I'm not going to go into spoiling any more details, because I definitely think this is a good film, and I think people should watch this film regardless of the fact or as lame as you might think it is. It really isn't. It's really an inspiring film and really uplifting, and it is strictly a comedy. So, nevertheless, I definitely enjoyed it. I'm a big fan of Kevin James, and I really think that this film will push him out further into being more recognized in Hollywood. But yeah, like I said, there's some things about the film that I didn't like too much, and that was basically the character of Selma Hayek. Like, she was just, she was mainly there for Kevin James, to be Kevin James' love interest, but she really didn't have anything that I would remember her by. There was one funny scene between her and Kevin James towards the end of the film, and that was like the only funny thing that I remember her doing, or the only memorable portion of the film, let me say, that I actually remember her being in. And you know what? That's just fine, because the real two standouts of the film were Kevin James and Bas Rutten. Henry Winkler, yeah, he was in a lot of the film. He had some funny scenes, but again, the two that really stood out to me were Kevin James and Bas Rutten. Those two really did some good acting. They had some funny moments, and like I said, they could have carried the film. I mean, they did carry the film in my eyes, alone, without any really, nobody really interfering. Like I said, Henry Winkler, he did add to the comedy of the film, but again, Kevin James and Bas Rutten really did their thing. I also like that they focused on actual training methods used to become and to get into mixed martial arts. So it just wasn't just a movie faking it or acting stupid. Like, you actually see that Bas Rutten or Nico was actually training Scott in the methods of an MMA fighter. You also get to see that Kevin James actually got really toned up for this film. It's not like he's just, old King of Queens Kevin James or Hitch Kevin James. He really got toned up. You see that he really got a little bulked up and cut up just to, be in this film. And I actually respect that. I like seeing that, man, because, yeah, that was a real good change up. And it made him look like more legitimate as a fighter. Not to say that there's just, all bulky or brawling fighters, but yeah, Kevin James did a real good job at getting in shape for this film. All in all, I definitely would give this film 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it. I actually saw the screening before the film came out with my girlfriend, and she enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Like I said, the comedy is there. Like I said, the film is really inspirational and it's really uplifting. There isn't really a lot of of love or anything like that, scenes or anything like that. But you do get to see Selma Hayek, a couple of times throughout the film, and again, her relationship, or between her and Scott Voss or Kevin James, really wasn't that believable. It just happened all too quick, and you could just tell it was just thrown in there to make things seem more legitimate. But anyway, 4 out of 5 stars for me. I definitely recommend this, guys. Pick it up. It hits Blu-ray and DVD shelves today. And again, this is Sean from 4GLU, 4 Geeks Like You. Stay tuned for more reviews, and I'll check you guys out later.